Alright, so I've gotten most of the pallets broken up. There's still a few more left, but one of the stacks is gone, and the chickens are getting big, so I need to go ahead and figure something out for their bigger brooder. So most of these boards are good. They need to be kind of like trimmed up so they're all an even like 3 feet or so. And then I need to pull some nails out of the feet leg, I'm not sure what they're called, of the pallet. So I can use those. Alright, so this is most of the usable pallet wood. There's a few more pieces, but I've started to set up that I was able to get from the pallets, which is nice. Now I'm going to start building the floor of this chicken brooder thing. My plan is to basically use these pieces and then build 2 4-foot by 3-foot sections, stick them together, and have a 4-foot by 6-foot section. I've got 10 chickens, supposed to have 2.5 square feet per chicken, which is 25 square feet, but it's be really awkward to try and build like a 5 by 5 enclosure. So they're getting 24 square feet, and I hope that's just good enough. All right, so I've built these 2 floor panel sections simply by taking the pallet wood and screwing it to the sides just tighter so it's actually like a floor. And I'm going to screw them together with these longer screws, which are a little bit too long, but hopefully it'll be all right. I'll just, it's going to be on the other side, so hopefully it won't catch anything. Then I'll flip it over and see how I can start building up the walls. All right, so I have these 2 base pieces, and I was going to start screwing them together. The screws are a little too long, which is kind of obnoxious. But I realized I'm going to need something to attach a baseboard to, because I'm going to want to start building up the walls, and I don't want to screw into the end grain of the wood here. On this side, it's going to be fine, but on this area, it's going to be, I don't want to screw into that and have it pull out and tear up the wood. So I'm just going to use these wider pieces here and basically stick them on like this all the way around, and that'll give me some base to nail the chicken wire to up here and all the way around, and I can start building up like walled structures that way. So in order to screw into that, I'm going to take this piece of scrap wood, which is about 24 inches long, and cut it into 3-inch sections. I need 8, one here, there, the other side, there, and there. This is actually 3.5 inches, but or 3.25, something like that. 3.5, I guess. But it should be fine. And I only have 24 inches of wood, so yeah, I'll make 8 cuts and attach them. This should allow the screw to go in to both pieces of wood, to all 3 pieces of wood. Fine, and seat in there. Good. All right, so I've got all the blocking in here and there and there and there to screw into. And I've set up my first side piece, I guess. I'm going to screw that in there, and then the other side as well. I'm going to see if I can just screw in the sides to this and not actually, or to this piece, and not have to put something else on it. I shouldn't have to. It should be fine. Well, I may have to put something on to like nail the chicken wire to. It's like a little piece that comes up, but we'll see how that goes. All right, so I've got my sides on. Now I'm just gonna clean this thing off and flip it over and start building up the sides of the cage. All right, so I've built my side pieces. I've got two of the longer sides here, two of the shorter sides here. I basically just took the pallet wood and then screwed two together for the 6-foot sides because they're 3 feet long, and then I cut these down to 2 feet. I'm not sure if that was a good idea or not, but that's what's happening. And did the same thing for the 4-foot sides, except I cut these guys down to 2 feet for the sections. So I've got these. I'm going to attach them to the floor piece. Mary had bought these square pieces for something, they're like 42 inches, which is a weird unit, I guess, for those. But she bought those. She's not going to use them. I'm going to use them to stiffen up my corners on this. It should work really well for that. So the next video will be this thing put together before I put the chicken wire on it. All right, so I got the first side up and on. Basically what I did was I kind of put it in place and then set the clamps and then adjusted it to where it's more or less lined up the way I wanted it to be. I was using these longer screws to attach it because it'll kind of hide in the ingrain. I mean, it's not going to get any support from that, but it's not going to be sticking out. And I have a lot more of those than I do with these guys. And I'd like to get this thing done before I have to go to the store and get more stuff. So basically just set it up there, got it in place, and then started screwing stuff in to get it secure. It's on there pretty good. I feel pretty confident in that side. So do the other side and then figure out how to do the front and the back and then put the chicken wire on. All right, so I got both the sides on, or the long sides on, and as I was putting on this short side, I realized that I messed up. I made an adjustment here to make sure that this fits on both sides when it slots in here, which is great, but I didn't think about these pieces, so I've got that gap there. Now it's actually not a big deal because I'm basically going to wrap this thing in with the this chicken wire stuff, poultry netting, but I don't really like it. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I got it more or less in place. I'll adjust a little bit. I'm going to attach it down here with screws to hold it in place, and then I'll be able to detach here and move this over, and it'll look slightly better, and it won't be that big of a deal. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. When I get that in. All right, so I've completed the sides of the brooder box thing. I moved this over on this side and the same on the other side, so I've got a decent corner here. And then around in all of the, it might be easier to get to from this angle. Around in all the corners, I took this 1 inch by 1 inch piece, cut 4 of them from one. It was 42 inches long, so I just cut 4 of them out. It should be plenty of space, and screwed them in to both sides so that the corner's nice and sturdy. So now I got to figure out how to wrap the chicken wire around this thing. That'll be the next step. All right, so I finally finished this morning getting the poultry netting stapled on here. So I guess it's done. It's close enough. I feel pretty good about it. I have a feeling that the little wood shavings are going to kind of like push out here, and I'm going to wish that I had built kind of like a lip up like I did on this side and on the sides. But if it becomes too much of a problem, I'll just cut pieces of wood and pull the staples out, slide it up in there, screw it in, and then restaple it, and it should be fine. But I got tons of other projects to do, so hopefully this will be good enough. I'm just going to clean it out and then see if I can get Mary to help me move it to where it's going to go. She says we should do the living room. I mean, I kind of built this to be used outside, but we may have to, or like, you know, in an outbuilding, like my shed. But I'm not sure how the chicks are going to do with the heat and the humidity, and I don't really have a top on it for, you know, like predators. So it's not like I could stick it outside, and they could get some like airflow. So I guess we'll put it in the living room for now and then see what we do later. Eventually they'll, I mean, you know, for too long they'll be ready for the coop. So this is just a temporary thing.